And today, President Nicolas Maduro further discussed his recent emergency decree to deal with the ongoing crisis. Meanwhile, opposition leader Enrique Capriles held his own press conference to call on supporters to hit the streets tomorrow to pressure the government to move forward with the recall referendum against Maduro. We turn now to our correspondent Ian Bruce for a bit of insight on this. Hi Ian, thanks for joining us. Listen, this guy, Enrique Capriles, was one, according to the government, in part responsible for the 2013 riots that led to the deaths of some and injured so many more. Are we seeing another 2013 coming soon?
Well, I think most people would certainly hope not, Reagan, but it certainly was a day of highly charged declarations on both sides here in Caracas. So in his press conference, Enrique Capriles, after he'd explained the details of those demonstrations that the opposition's calling tomorrow to push for quicker movement towards that recall referendum, he moved on to criticize very sharply President Maduro's emergency decree. He said it was unconstitutional, and then he said this was the hour of truth for the armed forces. They had to decide whether they were with Maduro or with the Constitution. That may just be rhetoric, but it certainly sounded to a lot of government supporters like an implicit call for military rebellion. So yeah, the temperature went up a few degrees, let's say that today.
The media gets involved, the international media get involved with this. So many reports are being blown up and people are calling in, texting in, messaging. What is going on with Venezuela? Can you give us an answer to this question to quell the fears that are happening right now?
Well, President Maduro gave his own answer, if you like, today, Reagan. I mean, he said Venezuela was now facing the most intense campaign against it, certainly in the last 10 years. And a lot of that was being led by the media at home and abroad. I mean, he mentioned the diplomatic pressure it's under. He also mentioned for example, one particular incident just 4 days ago when he said that probably a US spy plane was detected over Venezuelan territory and was seen away by Venezuelan Air Force jets. So yeah, the tensions certainly increased. In terms of what's going to happen next in terms of the recall referendum, I think that's the sort of the centre of the political dispute at the moment. As I said, the opposition is pushing for the electoral authorities to move immediately to define the points where they can go and verify their signatures. That's the stage we're in at the moment, the first round of signatures. On the other hand, President Maduro said, look, of course, the opposition have the right to a recall referendum, but they have to go through the procedures as they're laid down. And if they don't do that, they know what the procedures are very well. They've known that all along. They also knew how long it would take. If they really wanted to ensure they'd get a recall referendum this year, why didn't they begin in January when they could have done? Why did they wait 3 months? He said that was because they don't really want a recall referendum. They want a more dramatic outcome in the form of a coup or some other kind of collapse of the government.
Ian, thank you so much for your insight. We'll touch base another time.